I'm let that dry. Hi, my name is Hector Diaz. I'm a professional artist. I've been painting over 50 years. As far as what I paint, I've been changing, like every artist does. He paints anything, can see everything that is his heart or something that inspires him. And I've been painting cowboys and Indians, landscapes, and watercolors. Everything that gets in my way, I will paint. But I've always liked to paint it in a surrealist way. It has some feeling, some calm, some mystery behind it. My mind has always been on life in outer space. What would they do, how do they look, and how they work with what they do in their own planets. And I would say, well, someday they'll be out here. We'll know. Well, that's when I was a kid. Still don't see them, but I do have a lot of knowledge because I've been reading a lot about, as far as a History Channel, they talk a lot about the past and also the future, but mostly the past, about what the world was like before and how long this thing's been around. And so they talk a lot also about this mysterious shapes on the earth that they look at from the top of this and look down and see this geometric shapes that they still kind of not explain happen. Some of them has an idea that has to do with insects or animals or the past where they use ways to get around, whatever. But it's always an idea, but never proven. And I think that, to me, yes, the aliens, they were here and they left, and they've been back and forth, and they were here for millions of years. They've been here for us, before us, way before us. And yes, God created the universe, but He also created planets and also life out there, because we cannot be the only one existing on planet Earth, in the universe, that is. And He says there's things that you don't know now because it's not written, because it's too much to understand for us to take in and to understand what's going on. And I'm beginning to see why, because if there was planets, if there was visitors that you see walking around, we're not ready for that. And that's what, in my opinion, that's what the Bible, that's the way I understand that part. Some people don't believe it at all, and some people believe it more than I do. Some people have seen Him, some people have experienced many things that they can explain how it happened, and some people have been experimented with. And we do have DNA in our body that belongs to the aliens. The aliens has experiment with us. It's not all of us have it, but through generations, those DNAs has passed on to other people. These other people who has the DNA know more than we do. When they think about something, they'll do it, and they're very intelligent, because the DNA has planted from the alien onto them, and sometimes they pass it on to the children, sometimes not. Well, this is just a theory, but it's becoming true, because I noticed in National Geographic, I saw where they were talking about the DNA from aliens could have been implanted in us, because they found out, last week I saw something in the DNA that, it said, they talked about, there's a part of the brain in the middle of the brain that is not in everybody's brain, and it's in something that is not human. They cannot recognize it and connect it with the human DNAs. It's a different kind of DNA, and people, the doctor, the scientists begin to wonder, and they put it together, and they show how it was connected through the aliens. And I must sound crazy, and it sounds crazy too, but hey, when television first started, or telephones, or electricity, they thought it was kind of like too much to accept, I, for one, didn't trust the microwaves for a while. Look, I use it every day now. It's something you got to get used to. And once you learn something about aliens, they might look like this guy back here, and they might look like us, and again, like I said before, they can be around us and we don't even know it. Your neighbor can be an alien, or can be part of an alien, or can have the DNA of an alien into them, and they have different ideas and different ways of looking at things. So this is just out of my mind, just imagination, but a lot of it that I've thought about and I think about since I was a little kid, and I figure it out, it's all coming through. They're on National Geographic and different channels and different places where the things that I've thought about has come true. Ideas, all kinds of ideas. They've come true one after another as I grew up. Now, I didn't believe in aliens because I never saw one, but I knew they was out there, but I did not 100% believe in it. Well, I'll tell you a little story about when I was a teenager. I was about 16, and it was a birthday party. And all these teenagers, we got together and decided to go to Coney Island at 12 o'clock in the morning, back in New York. I'm in Washington now, Washington State. Seattle looks a little bit like a miniature New York. Anyway, Manhattan. The thing is that we would drink a little bit, yes, okay, so beer. And we were there for a while, playing around in the dock, the beach, near the beach, and it's Coney Island. There's a lot of, that's the Atlantic Ocean. There's sharks there. And we didn't go into the water too much, just on the edge, but it was dangerous. Well, we got tired, and so it was too late to go home. So we decided to go in the morning because the train wasn't running too well, so we stayed and laid down and went to sleep. And my friend Tony, we were next to each other, just thinking, couldn't fall asleep, just talking nonsense, And he says, we were talking about, he believes in a lot of crazy stuff, but mostly superstitious. And we just look at the moon, try to look at the horizon way in the back, and the light, as the sun starts coming up a little bit, you start seeing a little bit of light. But it was still dark, still nighttime. After we kept staring, we saw a head, kind of getting taller and taller and taller. And it was like somebody was swimming and came out of the water. This thing was not walking on water. It was just walking out of the water. Usually a person swims out of the water. He was walking out of the water until we saw the whole body. The body was a big head, round head, just like this guy here, and long arms and long legs. And we froze. My friend and I said, this is not a swimmer, this is not a guy, this is not from, it's an alien. My hair started standing up, and I go, no, come on, stay still, stay still. He won't see us. And we stayed still. And then as he walked towards us, like it just disappeared. It disappeared midair. Now, we couldn't run out of there because the train wasn't there. We didn't have a car, so we just froze there and looked at each other and wondered what happened. What was that? Somebody's making a movie? No. And we kept whispering. Then everybody started waking up. So what are you guys doing talking so much? We got to sleep. I said, well, it's almost 5 o'clock. Might as well stay up, And that's when I believed in aliens, because that thing, poof, right in midair. As soon as we realized and got closer, maybe he saw us. Who knows? And from water to land, that was weird too. And the kind of person, the kind of body was, he wasn't dressed either, so it was weird. Okay, so the thing is, people who see something like that starts believing. Most of the world has not seen anything like that. And some people, I have a friend who saw an alien standing right in front of the bed in Puerto Rico when he was about 17. And that's not long ago when I talked to him. And we talked about 10 years ago, we talked about that. Anyway, the thing is that as an artist, I sketched out something to him. He said, that's the guy, that's the way he looked in front of me. And they just stared at me. And then they back off and they left to the window. They kind of flew out. Just walked to the window. Anyway, you never know what an alien is, who's an alien, and so on. If we were to be people, the human person, humans, us humans on Earth are very skeptical about what comes down or what comes up. If we don't recognize it, we'll shoot it. We'll kill it. And then we dissect and find out what he's doing here. I'm joking, but that's what I see in America. What we are skeptical of things, how we don't trust. And aliens, that's why they don't come and show themselves up to you, because they're afraid of us. They're afraid that they're going to get also shut out and dissect. The government finally discovered and acknowledged that there's aliens, and we're going to hear more about it. So if you don't believe me, it's fine. But if you do, just keep watching my channel because I'll be saying something like this all the time. And by the way, I'm having a show sometime in the future. It was supposed to be last year, and it couldn't happen because of the viruses that's going around. But I'm still painting, so there'll be plenty of paintings coming up. You'll be seeing me finishing up. And keep watching this channel. I have a website that you can look into, so you can check it out later. My name is Hector Diaz, and the website will be Diaz Designs. Okay? But in the meantime, keep on looking up and keep your eyes and ears open for what you don't have seen, so you can be ready for it and not be so skeptical and afraid of it. So because someday we'll be together.